PlayStation 5 owners looking for a gaming monitor should want a display that is not only compatible with the console, but can also take advantage of all the features of the PS5. The PS5 supports 4K content up to 120 FPS with an HDMI 2.1 input, and HDMI 2.1 monitors are few, but you can still find a 4K at 60Hz monitor with HDMI 2.0 support that works great for gaming. Unlike the Xbox Series X, the PS5 doesn't support 1440p content, so it's best to go for a 4K option unless you want a 1080p resolution with a higher refresh rate. Monitors generally have lower input lag than televisions. Note that we bought a PS5, but we have yet to test all of our monitors with it. These recommendations are based on informed specifications and predictions. We tested over 100 monitors and these are our recommendations for the best PS5 gaming monitors you can buy. The best 4K gaming monitor for PS5 that we tested is the GIGABYTE M28U. It has a 28-inch IPS screen that is immersive to the touch, with wide viewing angles that make it ideal for sharing content or playing cooperative games. It handles reflections well and gets decently bright, so you shouldn't have any problems with glare unless you're in a very well-lit room. The mount only allows for height and tilt adjustments, but there is support for a 100 by 100 VESA mount if you need more adjustability. It has an exceptional response time that makes quick movements look sharp without blurring behind moving objects. The response time at 60Hz is slower but still excellent. Although there was a problem initially that caused a higher input delay at 60Hz, it was fixed with a new firmware. It has excellent DCI-P3 coverage and decent peak brightness in HDR, but black looks gray due to its lackluster contrast, and its local dimming works terribly. Countless functions are available. It has a USB hub with 3 USB 3.0s and 1 USB-C that supports DisplayPort alternative mode. However, the USB-C power supply is limited to 15 watts, just enough for small devices like smartphones. It also has a picture-in-picture, picture-by-picture mode that allows you to view two input signals at the same time so you can watch a movie or TV show while you play. Overall, this is a feature-rich monitor that most people should like. If the GIGABYTE M28U is too expensive for you, check out the Dell S2721QS. It's a bit smaller at 27 inches and it also uses an IPS panel with wide viewing angles. It has a good response time and is compatible with VRR, but is limited to a 60Hz refresh rate. It has much better ergonomics, as the bracket allows for pan adjustment and portrait mode, and it becomes brighter. To combat glare. Unfortunately, there are no USB ports. Overall, the GIGABYTE is a better option as it offers a higher refresh rate and better response time for a much smoother gaming experience. Dell is a great option if you are shopping on a budget, if you don't mind playing at 60Hz all the time. The LG OLED C1 is the best PS5 monitor you can get in big screen size. Unlike most typical monitors, this TV has a large 48-inch screen with an aspect ratio of 16:9 so you can play most games without the black bars you would see on monitors. We tested it as a monitor because it is advertised as such and has better gaming performance than most monitors. The main advantage of this display is the OLED panel, as it can display perfect black tones without blooming around shiny objects. It has wide viewing angles so the picture is always accurate no matter where you sit. In terms of gaming features, it has a 120Hz panel with HDMI 2.1 inputs that allow you to play 4K games at up to 120 frames per second in full RGB. The movement looks very fluid thanks to its almost immediate reaction time, and it has a low input lag for a responsive gaming experience. If you want to use it as a PC monitor, you should know that there is a risk of permanent burns. This can be a problem if the same static screens are constantly displayed, e.g., the taskbar of a desktop user interface. However, we don't think this will be a problem for those who watch a variety of content, especially if you are using it for PS5 games. If that's not your concern, then it's one of the best monitors for PS5 out there. If you don't want to spend so much money on a high-end TV, then you should take a look at the Philips Momentum 436M6 Pop. It is a real monitor with an LED panel, so there is no risk of permanent burns like the LG Q80T Series OLED, but it does not produce perfect black tones. It's still good for darkroom gaming as it has a VA panel with a high native contrast ratio for deep blacks and decent black uniformity. Even in a well-lit room, it has excellent maximum SDR brightness to combat glare. The input lag is low and it has a decent response time. However, black spots can occur on dark objects, which are typical for VA panels. Since you're limited to a 60Hz panel and HDMI 2.0 inputs, you won't be able to take full advantage of the PS5. If you want the best monitor for PS5 and the best picture quality possible with a big screen, take a look at the LG. If you don't want to spend a lot or are concerned about the risk of burns, contact Philips.